Hello, this is the second episode of Food for Thought in AR. So, this episode, I just want to talk about um, the education system, not necessarily all over the world, but just in the Western world, like in North America in general. Uh, what I find is that being an immigrant to the country that I live in now, which is Canada, as a child and growing up in the Canadian education system, is that it is a good qualification in terms of, well, not the qualification, but the quantification of what one could learn um, in terms of what you would like to do with your future. But the problem I find with the education system in the Western world is that it's standardized, which means that if you do not meet the standard or if you try to differ from it in some way, it is that you are either shunned or frowned upon in some general societal sense. And that might pose some difficulty for some people. Now, what I also find is that if you choose to ignore the everyday norms and try to strike out on your own in terms of what you would like to learn and the amount or the study time or something like that, is that the system will not allow you to progress in the way that you could apply that knowledge within the certain parameters of the education system. So what I would like to suggest now is that instead of learning by a standardized system, we should switch to what I find to be the Socratic method, which is what Socrates proposed, wherein people, instead of studying independently on a topic and then, giving it to a head or a figurehead to be judged upon, what they should do is sit as a whole unit, a group, and discuss the topic and find out what are the best or prevailing ideas about that one topic or whatever the situation may be or whatever you might be discussing, and find the optimal solution by expanding on everybody's idea within that discussion. Now, as I am uh, aware of, there is a certain practical method to doing this, and it's called the three schools of learning, which are logic, reason, and grammar. Now, what that means is instead of, reading a note, or it's not instead of, but it's the way you should learn, which is like if you're reading a note, you want to apply the logic of it. You want to understand the information and know that that is what it is telling you. And then there's the reason, which is that you want to be able to apply that knowledge or give examples and know real world application. And then there's the grammar, which is the ability to reproduce the idea or produce your own ideas based upon that information. So that combined with the Socratic method, I think would produce a very much more fruitful or lucrative, if you will, uh, education system. Now, that's what I think, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And this has been another Food for Thought in a Europe. You know what? I'm out.